Alrighty. What up, down under Dave? How you doing, big dog? How you been? How's school going? Or portfolio building? I can't. I forgot if you've actually gotten into school. If you're doing portfolio building still. I think you're just doing portfolio building. I'm listening to Rally House and Drawing. What's Rally House? I'm unfamiliar. What up, Molly? How you doing? How you doing, big dog? Nice seeing you back. What are you getting up to today? In a week, I'll submit my portfolio application. Oh shit, dude. You ready? That's big. I think you'll do fine. And right now, I'm doing everything last minute. Yeah, sounds about right. Welcome to student life, dude. That's the way she goes. Just drawing. I've been trying to force myself to draw a lot more. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like honestly, guys, if I think if I didn't stream nearly as much as I do, probably just wouldn't draw that much. Like I think outside of streaming, I don't like usually what I get is I get the momentum from streaming that carries me into drawing after streaming, and then that'll fizzle out after a few days or whatever, but it's like I just like if streaming wasn't a thing in my life, I don't know that I'd be actively drawing nearly as much, so I get that, Molly. Finding an anchor or something that keeps you coming back is tough, man. It's tough, especially when there's so many like competing things in life. Also, if I sound a little weird, I don't think I sound weird, but a little nasalier. I was out drinking late last night and I had a little bit of a hangover this morning. My head was like pounding. I'm fine now, but it was like I was like whoop 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 all morning, and I was like, oh fuck. Ads are about to roll soon, I think. Oh yeah, good call. Okay, I'm gonna run the ads now, and then I forgot about that. And then I'm gonna go take a little leak. Let me pull up the ads. I think I've learned how to do this now. I go to Stream Manager, I go to Ads Manager, and then I'll run them. Oh, okay. There's still a minute and a half of ads, but I'll just yap a little bit. Let me set up my screens here. There we go. We got that. Yeah, I was out drinking last night. Actually, maybe before I go into anything of substance, I'll let the ads die down a little bit. But yeah, I guess my question to chat is most likely going to be like, what the hell? How do I stop biting my nails? This is the thing I think I want to tackle a little bit more this year. I bite my nails quite a bit, and I want to cut back on biting them. I just don't know how. It's tough to like because I do it subconsciously. Special occasion or casual outing. Actually, we didn't. I didn't really go any. I didn't have like an outing of any sort. I went to my buddy's place and we had an Austin Powers viewing party. We watched. We already did Austin Powers 1, and now we did Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and then the next one I guess is a gold member. You could start chewing on gum. That's true. I do feel like I'd be like really obnoxious if I was just like chewing gum all the time. There's like this stuff that apparently tastes like shit. I might put that on my fingernails and see if that helps me stop biting them. But it's a bad habit, man. It's something I've been doing since I was like a kid. It's like so ingrained into me. And the thing is, I've like quit worse shit, but it's like I don't know, dude. Like for whatever reason, something about having like the thing that your habit is like linked to attached to your body just makes it so much harder to stop. There's a non-toxic dog spray that you use on furniture to discourage chewing. It's really sour. Yeah, I've heard that. That's what I think I'm gonna try and apply on my fingernails to see if I can get myself to stop biting them. What am I doing? What am I freaking doing right here? I'm doing a little something, something. There we go. All right. Oh, Twiggy, how you doing? How was stream yesterday? I had to take off, unfortunately. I was going to an Austin Powers viewing party, and so I had to disappear. Ryrie Art, how you doing, dude? How you doing? Welcome in. How you guys going? Oh my God, yeah, we were watching the second episode. It was good. We were watching The Spy Who Shagged Me. We watched the first one like a few weeks ago, the International Man of Mystery or whatever, and I think the next one's what, Gold Member. So that one's gonna be on the docket for sure in the next like few weeks. I don't really know. It's gonna basically be when we can get all the boys together, you know. Finally get to catch you live. How's it been going? It's been going, dude. I'm good. I'm hanging out. I was a little hungover this morning because of I got really hammered last night watching Austin Powers. The movie's called the Man Who Shagged Me. No, it's called the Spy Who Shagged Me. And I think it's because the premise of the movie is he goes back in time, which is like the premise of every movie. But like he goes back in time to 1969, and he like he joins like this like one spy named Felicity Shagwell, and then they do Austin Powers type things. And anyways, it's a good movie. I really think the Austin Powers series is weird. I think like the first one is good, and then it's all right. The first one's all right, and then they get better as the series goes on. Very rare for a trilogy of movies to get better as the series goes on. Some are just like genuinely good, like Lord of the Rings is just fucking banger after banger after banger. Harry Potter's got its ups and downs. It's not really a trilogy, but you know. I've never seen them. They're really campy and they're really stupid. But they have Mike Myers and he plays like every character. So it's I think it's funny, but yeah, Rary, nice to catch you live, you know, or catch you while I'm live. It's I'm not really drawing right now. I should also probably get rid of this B right back. We're BRH'd. We're right here. We're B right here, you know. What's up with you? How's life? If you guys get the chance to see it, go ahead. Don't drink nearly as much as I did though. That's all I would say. Okay, is that my brush is a little too thick right now. Let's tweak that a little bit. Let's tessellate. But yeah, I feel like as I've gotten older, my ability to recover from drinking is just not what it used to be. It really isn't. I think like I only had like a few beers and some wine, I guess. Actually, I did drink quite a bit now that I think about it. But like normally that would be recoverable, you know? And I think it would have been. I just didn't drink a lot of water. Normally, I'm on top of my water game, but not last night. So I woke up and it was just like whoop 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 whoop. I hear that from a lot of my older friends, your geriatric friends that you keep in the hospice. I get it. Glad I've never had a hangover in my life. That's the German in you, dude. You guys are just built different. I don't know. Couldn't be me though. I've had several hangovers at several ages, and the worst hangover I've ever had was the first time I drank, and that was the time that my friends had to shower me because I allegedly shit myself. I was blackout drunk, so I can neither confirm nor deny, but that's what I was told. And what the fuck? Yeah, it happens, dude. People shit themselves, you know. Some usually that stops after I don't know age 1 or 2, but you know, for some of us it goes on into early adulthood apparently. For real, exactly. I haven't had one because I don't drink that much. Really? That's interesting. I'm not a huge drinker. I just drink socially. But the thing is, I'm a competitive drinker. So when people are drinking, I'm matching. You know what I mean? That's my issue. I just I never drink when I'm at home when I'm chilling. But if we're going out and we're partying, I'm gonna go just as hard as the best guy. You know, alcohol just doesn't stay long for me, so I have to drink way more. It's way more expensive for me. You just gotta drink harder shit, dude. That's what it is. Or you gotta start inhaling like alcohol vapors. You know, going Gen Z with it. Hitting those alcohol vapes or whatever. I don't know. I'm an old man, dude. I can't relate to any of that shit. But I know Gen Z kids do weird shit with alcohol that you know is probably more likely to get you killed, but gets you fucked up. I usually go for vodka or the girly drinks. The girly drinks are dangerous, bro. When that shit tastes good, ooh, I want my alcohol to taste bad. You know what I mean? Like I want to every time I drink alcohol, I want to do like this face where you're just like, where is it? Like the I want to have this face every single time I drink alcohol. You know what I mean? If I'm enjoying it, I'm dying that night. Like there's just no like that's dangerous. You can't be doing that. But yeah, also to give a little bit more context to the scenario earlier that I was describing, I was 15 years old. Okay, it was the first time I ever drank ever, and back then I still had the competitive spirit that I do today. And all my friends were drinking, and we were drinking 40s of Old English because we were really into hip hop music. This was the early 2000s, okay, and all the cool rappers were drinking. They were drinking OE, and so we were drinking Old English. I had two 40s of Old English. Okay, that's a 40 ounce, by the way, of Old English, which is like 8% malt liquor, I think, something crazy like that for a 15-year-old. Okay, I probably weighed like 130 pounds. So I'm downing those, and I chug one of them like real fast. I'd never drank in my life, so I had no idea what was coming. I drink one of those. We also had a 2.6 of Smirnoff, and I drank maybe like a quarter to a half. I don't know how much of that I drank. Like I drank a lot, and then guys, this is the kicker. Okay, this is where fucking I end up like trending on Twitter as like a kid dying in a pool. I went swimming after that. Okay, I went swimming directly after that. Luckily, by some fucking blessed miracle, I got out about 5 minutes before I blacked out completely, and I don't remember anything. I just remember waking up the next day incredibly fucked up. The most fucked up I've ever been in my entire life. I probably killed like several thousand brain cells that night. There was a bowl of like vomit next to me. I was not wearing my own underwear, okay, and I was not wearing my own clothes, and nobody was downstairs. They just fucking like abandoned me downstairs, which is very typical, I guess, of 15-year-olds, but also like you would think they would watch me in case I started like choking. I don't know, whatever. Look, they're not smart. We're 15, all right, and and then my buddy was like, yeah, you shit yourself and we had to shower you. You were fucking puking all over the place. I was like, I don't look. This could not be true. Okay, they could be lying to me. Okay, but then we went back to school and they told everybody. And so I was the guy who shit himself for a little bit at school. Which you know, look, I don't have like a personality who's like averse to embarrassment or shame. I think I rock it pretty well. And so you know, being the guy who shit himself, it's whatever. I was pretty mad at my buddy for doing that at the time because I was an insecure little 15-year-old. But in hindsight, it's kind of funny. I don't know. And the funniest thing is, so I like after high school, this is like years later. So I'm like 24ish at this time. Okay, so I'm dating this girl that I went to high school with, but her and I never we were never friends. We didn't know each other in high school. We had a couple classes together, but it was one of those things where we just kind of connected later on in life. And so I'm dating her, and one of her friends went to our high school also, and her friend like she tells her friend like, oh, I'm dating Snack or whatever, and her friend's like, oh, the guy who shit himself. This is like fucking 6 years after we graduated high school. She's like the guy who shit himself, and then she like asked, she's like, "Did you shit yourself?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I shit myself in high school." And she was like, "Well, my friend knows you as the guy who shit himself." So there's probably tons of people out there that their only knowledge of me, okay, is that one time I got blackout drunk and shat myself. That's people's view of me in their heads right now, walking around this on planet Earth. There are people who only know me for that. It's my magnum opus in high school, I guess. If they're watching, they know it's you now. Yeah, doxed. I'm sure there's tons of men who have shat themselves. Probably none of them will talk to it about to a public audience quite as eloquently as I would. I would say, but I'm sure there are tons of men who have shat themselves. I'm sure they live among us right now. And you know what, ladies? I'm not excluding you guys from this category. I'm sure some of you right here, right now, because a lot of you are ladies. I'm sure you've done a little accidental poo every now and then. Don't lie. Don't lie. Anyways. Happy Sunday, everybody. Now let's get into drawing a little bit. Otter with the eyebrow raise. Look, man, you can't like try and shame me into thinking I'm crazy. Okay, don't gaslight me right now. I know how you guys are. Ladies fart, dude. Despite what people will tell you, they do fart and they do poop. Moonlight Suki, what up? How you doing? How you doing, Moonlight? Suki. Wrong women only pee. I still don't know from where though, but I do know you guys pee. I'm convinced you guys don't even know where it comes from. Guys, I'm trying to get into drawing like more furniture and shit. I just don't know like how to do it. I'm like trying. I really probably shouldn't be freestyling this, but fuck it, whatever. We're just gonna wing it. If you can't see it, it doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. The pee evaporates from our body through magic 100%. That vapor probably smells very stinky, I would imagine, if I had to guess. To some men, I bet it's a delicacy, though, not me. So, don't even ask. Somehow, some way, streams always turn into me telling stories about shitting or pissing myself. I don't know why. It doesn't happen that much. I feel like I make it sound like it happens so much more. In my adult life, it's probably happened once, as far as I could remember, but that looks a little too small. This little teardrop thing. My cats are fighting. Good. You can determine which one's the alpha cat, and then you could feed him more as a reward. I should never own cats. Okay. This is not lining up properly. Let's see. Perspective. Probably around that height. Is this even lined up? Let's say I do that. Yeah, it just still needs to be a little taller. One's already as fat as it is. Well, don't shame him, dude. It's not his fault. You're the one feeding his ass, bro. If I was feeding someone and they got really fat, I can't blame them. It's like I'm literally like a feeder. Is that the one winning? You would think so. He's got the weight advantage. There's weight classes for a reason. I woke up really late today, so I'm gonna be sipping coffee pretty much all stream, which means there's gonna be a lot of peeing this stream, which means there's gonna be a lot of ad breaks. That's life, okay? I don't make the rules, Twitch does. You know my stance on ads. What do you mean from where? Well, I mean, I know where it comes from in general, but I don't know what mechanism. Like if I had to reverse engineer the lady parts to determine what the fucking route is that like the P takes, it'd be a mystery. It'd be a big question mark, okay? I don't know. I know where dude P comes from. There's one path it could take, right? But girl parts, I don't know. Girls are also a lot more diverse down there. There's just a lot of variety. I can't even find it on a good day, so I can't navigate my way around those parts. I have no idea. So the idea of understanding how it works internally is just beyond me. Look, I didn't do well in grade 12 biology, all right? Let's make this a little bigger. I'm crying because I'm suffering because of university. Yeah, that sucks, dude. I've been there, trust me. I've done it twice. Not university, but college. I have two diplomas and neither of them serve me today, so think of the futility of life in the university and cry even more. There's value in getting a degree. There's value in it. You'll probably make more money than people who don't, if that makes you feel any better. The other one's basically a midget and a girl. So you just got a big fat dude bullying like a tiny little girl. That's fucked up, dude. I'm no longer on the big cat's team. Feed him less. Nah, she's orange. She's usually the one kicking ass. Yeah, that checks out. What's up with that? Is there like a weird like genetic thing with orange cats where they just misbehave or do like black cats are chill, dude. Every black cat I've had is like super chill. Maine Coons, super chill. Big fuzzy brown cats, whatever. They're all chill. Orange cats, they're assholes. I don't know why. Is there an explanation? Or do you think it's the people who own those cats? Do you think it's like there are, you know how like they say like owners look like their dogs or whatever? Do you think it's the same with cats? Like if you're like it kind of is actually. A lot of girls that I know that like have black cats are really into like occult stuff, witchy aesthetic, all that good stuff. And then I feel like I don't really know what the Maine Coon archetype would be. I guess it's Glad reading chat right now. My Maine Coon is not chill. Well, if I was a Maine Coon, I'd be chill. I'd be so chill. Orange cats, do you think it's just like bad owners get orange cats? White cats are also very chill. The only white cat I know is like very crusty looking though. He's got like an eye thing, so he always looks like he's squinting at you with like boogers all around his eyes. He looks kind of gross a little bit, but he's chill. She's chill, I should say. Oops. Well, I got an orange tiny female cat and a fat black cat without balls. All right, man. How do you think he feels about you talking about him that way? If I was ballless and that was like my selling point on the internet, I don't think I'd like that very much. Imagine your partner introduce you, be like, "Oh yeah, this is my BF cat snack." Oh yeah, the he's fat and has no balls, by the way. Thanks, babe. He doesn't think enough to form an opinion. Fair. Do you still give feedback? I'm working on an illustration for my portfolio and also for university. Yeah, dude, drop it in the critiques. I'll take a little looky look. I'll take a little peeky poo. I really gotta tackle this hand, and this whole thing is fucking messy. It's very lacking in stuff right now. And I don't really know how to fix it, but we'll figure it out. I'm just gonna keep doing random shit until it works. I'm gonna make toast over a gas stove. Very nice. I have an electronics or an electric stove, so my shit's very boring. It takes forever to heat up. My Siamese cat has no brain cells and always hits his head, so it gets even more stupid. Well, one day he'll get a bump that like makes him a little smarter, you know? It's like when people get hit in the head with a baseball and they can speak a foreign language or something like that. It's bound to happen to animals too. He's just got to keep trying. Posted. All right. Let's take a little peek. Oh wow. Okay, that's nice. I really like this character design, by the way. All right, I'm gonna pull this up on stream. So this is Tsuki's drawing. This is her character. First of all, I want to look at the character because the character's sick. I really, really, really. The proportions are fantastic. I'm gonna point out the good. We're gonna point out the good first. The proportions are fantastic. I really like it. I think it looks really good. I like the color palette too. Just the design in general is simple, but it's got, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of have you guys ever played is it Black and White? Pokemon Black and White? She reminds me of the girl from Pokemon Black. Let me see. Is that the one I'm thinking about? Or Pokemon Black and White? Pokemon Black and White characters. I might be thinking of a different one. Yeah, I'm thinking of a different one. Maybe I'm thinking of X and Y, or no, maybe it's like Emerald and Sapphire or Ruby or whatever. Ruby, Pokemon Ruby. I don't know, dude. Anyways, I'm just getting that vibe, you know? I feel like she could exist in like an anime. Well, I was gonna say an anime world of Pokemon, but Pokemon is anime. I was gonna say she could exist in some sort of like Pokemon style world, is how it feels like to me. Anyways, I can't put my finger on it. It is a unique design and the language works, the shape language and all that stuff. It's cool. Now getting into this is a complicated angle, right? We do have some lines to guide us here. Okay, so you got a brick wall. So let's see what we can let's see what kind of information we can discern out of this to see where we can match that information. So I'm gonna get rid of my shit first of all. I'm gonna reduce the opacity on this, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw sort of a little bit of a perspective grid. So you've got sort of your bricks here going off to some vanishing point, which I assume this vanishing point works. You know, it looks like it works. Like it looks like the vanishing point's somewhere off in that direction, right? Now the reason I'm doing this is because I just want to map out where the ground is. So the ground is like here. She's tilted this way, which to me indicates that, you know, maybe the floor is like down here and she's putting weight on her front leg or something like that. Trying to get some information, you know, before I sort of make any judgment calls on what we should do. Ooh, okay. I'm saying there's other vanishing points here, which to me means the floor angle is really extreme. If I'm looking at this, this is an extreme angle. Like this to me would be like a very top down thing where if there's a character here, they'd have to fit like within like a box that matches this perspective, right? Otherwise they'd fall off the map. And so it'd be very, very steep. So I think like keeping that in mind, we're gonna look at this a little bit more. I think your VPs are too close. Just looking at this really, really quickly, I think you think May from Emerald? May from Emerald. Sorry, I'm getting ADD brain. May from Emerald. Let's see. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking. That's definitely what I was thinking. Similar vibes-ish, kind of. Anyways, I feel like she could exist in the Pokemon universe. I think your VPs are way too close. Well, no, maybe not. I don't know. It's just because I see these sort of brushing off this way, which means the vanishing point's like here, which is pretty tight. It's almost like, it's not fisheye, but it's pretty damn extreme. Because if I'm doing a floor here, it's gonna match like sort of. Like if the VP's up over here somewhere, whoops. If the VP's up over here somewhere, the floor is gonna be pretty top down, like even more extreme than what I have here. What am I drawing? What layer am I drawing on? Ugh, I don't know what layer I'm drawing on. Oh, I'm drawing on the May layer, that's why. So she's gonna be standing and her feet are gonna be basically like this. Right. Flip. Okay. Well, you know, okay, we're gonna use that as information, but I don't think we're gonna use that as the focus of the changes that we can make because there's simpler changes we can make, and I think the structure of the face is one area that I'm gonna focus on just to keep it a little bit smaller because reworking the entire perspective is just not. It's at this stage in the game shouldn't even focus on that. So looking at the face here, I think we're missing overlap and depth on this far eye here. So if I look at the eye, I'm thinking, let me reduce the opacity just a little bit more. Let me draw here. So I'm gonna draw a center line, right? We're gonna draw her chin, jaw. You've got her jaw there. And this, we're still gonna have to show a little bit of a jaw here. Cheekbone. I'm gonna bring this in a little bit. Tough angle. Another thing I could also do is I could use a uh, a reference. So I'm gonna pull up a head angle thing reference, and I'm gonna find the exact angle so we could just use that, so we don't have to guess as much. Let me see here. I'm gonna use Skull in a Box, which is a popular website that I've been using. So the perspective is kind of like, there we go. I think I got it. The angle's kind of like this, roughly, probably a little bit more tilted. And if you're curious about this website and you ever want to use this website, I've shared it quite a few times, but it's an awesome resource. It's called Skull in a Box, and it lets you rotate a box in three-dimensional shape. You can add layers to it. You can change the tilt. You can do it. It's great. It's fantastic. Okay, so looking at this now, I think maybe we could tilt this a little bit more, like that. Maybe lower the angle a little bit also. Let's see. I think, was your goal to have less eye show and more of the brows covering it? Because what I think the issue is right now is it feels like on your drawing you're trying to show the full eye, but in this perspective, if you look here, like the brow would be going over top of the eye here. Like if you draw like the flesh, so you'd be intercepting. You wouldn't see the full eye. You would see like part of the eye here, right? So that's sort of my gripe. That's why that eye feels off to me, because it feels like you're trying to show the entire eye, where at this angle, I don't think you would, because the nose would be overlapping it. So if the nose is like this, right? I would put the eye, honestly, somewhere closer to like this. You can even probably show most of the eye, but I think it would come in more. I think that reads a little bit clearer, and then what happens is you're gonna have to bring this in. It's gonna be a pretty extreme tilt on the brow, just because she's at a much more. I want her to be concentrated to attack someone and show eyebrows. Okay. Like another thing is if the head's tilted down, right? Because you've got sort of this plane up here where the brows would sit on. The brows are going to overlap also. Like if you have a head from the front, right? I'm just going to do a rough profile here. Right, so this is like a rough profile. I mean, he's got kind of got like macrocephaly or whatever. Like he's missing half his skull. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Pretend this is a properly done drawing. And then what happens is if the camera's up here, which it is, okay, so you've got sort of this lens, which is what the camera's capturing, right? And a picture of the camera just goes off here, right? So it's capturing this angle of the shot. So when the light comes in, it's going to be intercepted by this plane here above the brow. And so it's going to cut off a lot of the top half of the eye. So you're only really going to catch the bottom half of the eye as the light comes in. Like, light can't bend around, like, the forms, right? And so that's why you're going to have a lot less of the eye showing here. See how I have this line going across? That's where I would sort of place my brows. And I would even have the brows sort of, like, intercept a little bit. Those are a little bit masculine for brows, maybe, but you could... something like that. And then the nose would be a little bit more downturned, I think. So you'd see more of like a curvature there. Like I don't even think you'd see the bottom nostril. You'd maybe see the shape of the nostril, but wouldn't really see the hole. The mouth would also be a lot closer up to the top because what happens is as you're rotating this angle, right? Like as you're rotating the head down, if the mouth plane is here, if you rotate that down, like I said, it's gonna cut off. It's gonna catch if the camera's that high, and you're only gonna see like a little bit of the mouth, or the mouth is if it's not an super extreme angle, is gonna look like it's a lot closer, right? So one thing to note is when you're turning a head down, and I can symbolize that, or I can like really show this with the model, the tilt, right, or the reference I gave you. So if I take that reference, just bear with me for 2 seconds here. I'm gonna demonstrate something. So where's that head plane? So we got a really extreme up angle here. And then we're going to do a really extreme down angle. And then we're also going to do really just a neutral angle. And then we're going to observe the relationship between the two features as we change the angles up. Bro, I'm listening to like the fucking the Sigma music. Whoever recommended this is very into like Sigma playlists on Instagram, I would bet. Right? Okay, let's make them all relatively the same size so I can demonstrate this a little bit better, but look at the space here on the forehead, right? So if you draw the head in here, even like that, let's say, the head here, the forehead has all this space. There's a space above the eyes here. There's a space above the eyes here. There's this space here. The mouth would go like around here. So there's this space here. Now what happens when you change these angles is you change the size of these spaces. So right here, if you tilt the head up, you're going to lose a lot of the size you have as the perspective changes, right? You're going to see a lot less, like the cheekbones. If he has really big cheekbones, they could actually overlap like the eyes. The eyes look upturned because you've got sort of the lid. This lid has a curvature, but when you switch it upside down, it curves and it wraps above the eye. So these are all these are important things to apply if you're doing like downward tilts on heads and stuff like that. So the top of the head's going to look a lot bigger just because of the angle. I'm going to round the cheek in a little bit. Probably not going to see much of the chin. It's probably going to be intercepted by the mouth. The mouth is going to come just a little bit higher. I actually don't think your mouth placement is too bad. So that's what I would do. I would change the position of the eye because right now it just sort of feels like your eye is a little bit too far out. If I'm looking at my head, relative to, where's your drawing? That versus, I guess this, I'm just going to merge these all in one layer. Merge selected layers. So that, do you see the difference? Do you see how like it just feels like you're trying to squish too much on that side? Does that make sense? Now my girl's cheek is a little big. You could play and pull these proportions however you want, however you like makes things more appealing. But that's just something I think would give it feel a little bit more three-dimensional. And then everything else, like the hair and stuff, that kind of you kind of got that down. Like I don't see any big blaring issues with that. I would say this hair piece over here on the side, because you're adding more volume to the head now, is probably going to have to wrap around that. It's gonna have because it's gonna have to sit on those forms, right? Yeah, so that's what I would say. The neck, you're not gonna see as much of the neck, but I mean, you got kind of got that down. I don't think that's not really something I need to correct. The shoulder here, I think, is too triangular. So, and I think she's a little bit. Is she a bit wide, or is my head just too small? Sorry, the face I drew is just a little small. So the head will be big, just change the face, right? Yeah, I think the head size and proportions are fine relative to the body. I don't see any issues with that. I think like even my head could be a little bit bigger if I'm looking at it. And then the shoulder, I think everything's okay here. I just think your shape language could be improved. So I just think there needs to be like an indication of a separation between the traps and the actual deltoids here. Like the deltoids being the shoulder muscles. I'm a fan of doing like my shoulders with three angles here, like something like that. The way you did it is fine. A lot of people do it like that also with just two lines. I like doing it with three lines. I find it's a little bit more realistic, I guess, or it gives a bit more information. I'm a sucker for detail, you know. There's nothing wrong with what you did, but what I would like to see is just a little bit more division between the traps and the shoulder, right? And if she's a lady, she's not gonna have like big bodybuilder traps. So you don't have to go crazy. It can be very subtle. I'm just drawing in the muscles. You don't have to draw these. This is just for me to sort of as a guide for myself. I think this is more or less fine. I mean everything's looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I wouldn't change anything about the bicep or arm length or proportions really. The arm could be a little. I probably just drew it too long. I think it's probably fine. It's not really clear to me that she's holding this knife comfortably. I would recommend taking a picture of your own hand holding a knife and then referencing that. Like, if you have to draw it like to the T, I would do that also. So, but the big area I'm looking at right now is the head, eyes mostly. I'll put eyes and skull volume plus skull volume. Um, the hand I think could be reworked. Hand could be reworked. And this is as simple as just getting a reference and working with that. Hand could be reworked. Yo, what up, Faye? How you doing? Hand could be reworked. And I'm gonna put a little asterisk here because I'm just gonna say, based on how much time you have, right? If this is super like due like now or whatever, don't bother like doing crazy nitty gritty shit. I would just work on that eye because I think that's really the face is gonna be the focal area. So if you can get that eye fixed, it's gonna feel a lot nicer. How's it going? It's going good. I mean, I was a little hungover this morning. I went out drinking last night with the boys, and so I was my head was going like whoop 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 whoop, and I stumbled my way to the bathroom, still kind of drunk, but I'm good now. What about you, Faye? How's life? Ugh. What was I saying? Yeah, so hand could be reworked. Could be. And then glad to hear you're better now. Ooh, yeah. What a BB? What a BBR? Sounds like BBL. What a bunny boy? How you doing? Um, I think her dress too, because of the angle here, you could maybe make this a little bit more curved. Because you're doing like look, if we're doing a cylinder, right? And I'm drawing a cylinder because her torso is basically a cylinder here, right? Or you could think of it a little bit that way. If you're drawing a cylinder at an angle like a neutral angle or a little like a less down tilted angle, it's gonna look something like this. If you're at a really extreme angle like this is, right, you're probably gonna have a little bit more curvature and the shapes are gonna be a little bit more compressed as they go down. So I think that's something you could probably apply here. I think that's a simple fix also, is just like curving this up a little bit more. And that's going to apply to this skirt down here also. You want to, the thing is, if the angles on these are going to really, they're going to sell the depth of the drawing, right? So these are simple fixes. You can almost just like liquefy it, see if it looks a little bit better. If it doesn't, yeah, maybe leave it the way it is. Up to you. Depends on how much time you want to apply to this. But if you want to really sell the angle, I think that's something you could do. And that's going to apply to pretty much all the curves on here. And they're going to get less extreme as they get higher up. Her breasts also. Something like that. Well, the breasts are probably fine, actually. But I'd say, like, the belt, like here, it'll just... I feel like it'll feel like it's following the perspective of the background a little bit better. This shoulder, I think, would actually be quite covered up. I don't think you need this shoulder out as much. I think you can keep the shoulder there, but I would just bring it in a little bit more. I made her arm look huge here. Oh my god, she's been fucking pumping iron. Her arm would not be that jacked, but I was drawing the muscles just for my own reference. Sometimes I do that for my own sake. Slight modification to the shoulder. I'm making her a little smaller, I feel like. So apply these proportions to the scale that you want, but doing all right. Thanks for asking, hon. No worries, Pookie. No worries. Having breakfast, annoyed at my husband this morning. What my boy do? What'd he do? So my day's good. You're annoyed at your husband, and that makes your day good? Oh wait. Oh, annoyed my husband. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so you're torturing the poor guy. Got it. That gives you joy. I see how it is. I see how it is. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna put asterisk, shoulder, ders, plural. And then curvature, curves. Curves need perspective. And these are all asterisks because they're going to come down to how much you want to do them, how much time you're going to have. I would really say focus on the eye and shit. And I think that'll make it a lot better. And I'll drop this in the Discord real quick. Just so that you have... Oh, I flipped it backwards. Oopsies. I'm going to... It's like you can't read backwards. It'd be cool if you could, but... Well, I don't know. Maybe you can. I can't. All right, let me dump that in there. I'm going to put that in the critiques channel. So something like that. I also realized that I flipped your image backwards, but it's fine. You get what I'm saying. All right, let me catch up with Chad now. What do we got going on in here? Doing all right. Thanks for asking. Read that. Thanks, baby doll. How's your day going, gorgeous? I assume that's not directed at me. Okie dokie. I'm loving Otter Oxenfree, truly my twin, fellow sadist. Are you a sadist, Otter? This concerns me. I want to do this to use on my personal portfolio as well. Thank you a lot. No worries. No worries. Satiate my curiosity. How am I a sadist? That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering that too. Okay, we're going to dump this in... I had a little reference folder. Let's say it's in here. Oh my god, guys. I need water. My head is like pounding just from looking straight down. I thought I was cleared of my hangover, but I guess not. Could be the talking that's hurting. Give me 1 second here. I'll be BRB. Oh, wait, actually, I don't need to go anywhere. I have my glass of water's right next to me from yesterday. Almost missed that. I'm good. I lied. I was just kidding. You get joy out of tormenting your husband and you don't consider yourself a sadist? Different person. You're talking to Faye right now. Faye and Otter are not the same. Even though they do count themselves as twins, but... Oh. You've got the wrong queen. Otter isn't marriage material, apparently. Oh my god. Don't talk negative about yourself that way. Oh shit, my bad. Bro's sweating right now. Oh. We got you, no worries, and I'm all the ists. I don't know what that means. Racist, masochist, sadist. Okay, not the ists I was thinking of. Oops. I don't know if you want to be all the ists. There's a couple other ists. My husband is black. Don't think I could be that one. Well, there's other races to be racist towards. The world is your oyster, really. That's just classic, though. Modern racism is subtle. Okay, what am I doing? I'm still trying to do this guy's freaking shirt, man. Holy shit, my head hurts. I'm okay. I'm gonna keep forcing myself to drink water, so there will be a lot of pee breaks this stream. Anybody have any special plans this weekend? I guess it's kind of the end of the weekend, but I'm curious what everybody's agenda looks like. Or what'd you guys do this weekend? Anything fun? You got tomato juice? Classic Russian hangover cure. I hate tomatoes, dude. I love your sketch. Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I try, you know. I'm just trying to figure out like appealing designs right now before I start tightening things down. I've been playing around a lot. I also wanted to give like a floor and like everything. And there was gonna be like this was gonna be like a window here, and it was gonna shine like moonlight down like in this direction. I had like the whole like plan here. I don't think we're gonna go with that though. Well, we'll see. Ugh. Being in bed or playing Pal World. Get the gaming, girly. You could game in bed. Do you have a laptop? Well, you know my business. Yeah, you're having your cats do a little battle royale, and you're probably writing. I think I'm gonna draw for the weekend. You know, just something special for me. Yeah, do something special for you, big girl. You've earned it. I don't know if it counts, but I'm going to the movies with my best friend tomorrow. Oh shit, what are you going to see? I hear is Sinners still in theater? I hear it's very good. Everybody keeps saying it's very good. We're drawing vampires. I kind of want to watch it. Sinners again? Okay, well, I guess that settles that. It is good. My plans to annoy my husband till he fucks me up. Very excited for that. You really are an ist of some sort. Masochist, I think, is the one that I'm thinking of, but it's worth it, I promise. Should I get like the movie experience, or am I good to just like torrent it later? I mean, legally purchase it from a certified vendor near me. I'd watch it 10 times in a row. It's that good. You're really hyping it up. Movie experience was nice due to the music. I don't think I could go to a theater today. I would probably throw up, but hold up. I'm gonna change the angle of my tablet. Sticking my head straight down is like very, very, very painful. Oh, this is so much better. Okay. I don't have to tilt my head down. It's like a 19, what is like an early 1900s vampire flick, but like with like a modern twist or something like that. I don't want it spoiled, so give me the spoiler-free explanation. Deep South vampire movie. Okay. Whenever people say Deep South, it sounds ominous. I know the Deep South can be not ominous, but whenever somebody says Deep South, it sounds ominous. I don't know why. I think a lot of negative things are associated with the Deep South, so that's why I just like it resonates. I get negative dopamine in my head, my sped. Oh. Is it just Twilight but in the South? That would be that. You need to start writing books, dude. There's this author that I really like. I when I used to work in animation, I listened to his entire like audiobook at work. I had headphones on, obviously, because I could not listen to this shit at work, but or out loud. It's this guy named Quan Mills. Yes, Quan Mills, exactly. Yeah, you know. If you know, you know. Incredible author. They're basically like really I don't know, they're just like really stupid like erotic novels. I don't know, it's very funny to me. He's a CIA agent too. Wait, Quan Mills is? This sounds not real. I need that soft sketcher brush. It is nice. It's $5 from Kasem's Gumroad. Is this from the Sinners playlist? I saw you cue something up. Trust me, dude. I don't know. There's never anybody who says that that's like trustworthy. This is like when my friends are trying to tell me some shit that like make me believe something insane. I remember my buddy the other day. I went to Chick-fil-A with him, and he dropped his paper straw on the ground, and he picked it up, and we were in a mall, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't like." He's like, I'm sure it's fine. It's in paper, and I'm like, well, I don't know, dude. That's like bacteria. Like there's specific bacteria that can get through that paper, and I was like trying to convince him the whole time that his straw was dirty, even though it was in a wrapper, and he dropped it on the ground. And he was like, really? And I just kept going, and I was like, yeah, dude. It's like the paper is like it's not tolerant to the bacteria in this like environment. And he's like, really, dude? And I was like, no, man, fucking no. What are you talking? Just eat, drink, use your straw, bro. He's like, what the fuck? I love lying to people like that. It's very fun. Okay, I tell them at the end, but it is satisfying to just gaslight gullible people. It's if you're gullible, I'm sorry, but you're so entertaining. We convinced one of our friends once that our buddy was going to do his late night McDonald's shift at like 11:30 p.m. when he left. Like we were all hanging out, and he's like, "I gotta go. I got work tomorrow." And she didn't know why he left, and we were like, "Oh, he left because he has to go work at McDonald's. Like right now, he's got a shift." And she's like, "Really? He works at McDonald's?" And we were all just like, "Yeah, he works at McDonald's." Everybody was like in on it. Everybody like picked up on the vibes that I was putting down, and they were like, yeah. You works at McDonald's, and she's like, I didn't know that. It's like it's the worst part is she knows where he works. Okay, he worked in animation at the time, and she knew that. Anyways, it was we're like, no, he doesn't work at McDonald's. Why do you believe us right now? Anyways, part of it is like also you gotta train the gullibility out of them. You know, if you're a good friend, you gotta lie to them tons of times about stupid shit so that they smarten up. Can't have my friends walking around like that. You know, it's dangerous. You're such a menace, lovingly. No, I'm doing it for their own good, man. You don't get it. Like you can't be living your life like that. That's why we treat NFT like that. Yeah, exactly. NFT thinks I worked in animation. I've been giving him advice for like a year now, and he doesn't even know I have no experience. Oh shit, that's the hand. Oh my god, I'm so disoriented. It's hard talking to gullible friends because they believe any shit I make up and take my analogies way too literally. Keep lying to them till they develop trust issues. I try and make my lies at least like not believable, you know? Like I try and make it like on the edge of what they would should believe, you know what I mean? Like they should logically know that our friend who they know works at a specific location does not work at another location. You know what I mean? That's like a lie where it's like if you fall for that, come on, bro. That's on you, you know? I don't feel guilt over that one. If I was lying about like serious shit, if I was like, oh yeah, like so and so got into a car accident and they're in the hospital right now, then that'd be evil. You know what I mean? But if I'm just making like mundane shit up and then telling them immediately after that they're stupid for believing me, I think that's fair. That's still within the realm of appropriate. Ugh. This may be a short stream today, guys. I'm trying to tank it, but my head is throbbing. We'll see. I'll keep playing it by ear. Flipping my canvas hurts my brain. Come on, brush. Get bigger. Oops. Have you eaten anything yet? Yeah, I had a bunch of eggs this morning. I figured I was like I should get something in me, you know? Egg. Why is that a thing? What does it even do? I'm gonna do maybe like some squarey looking things up here. I think that was the idea of this. Maybe put some shit on this table here. They're kind of small now that I look at it, but whatever. Cat Snack is slightly gay today. Don't get your hopes up, guys. I'm a Vol cell gay man. Egg tells us if you've laid an egg yet. Is that how that works? Adds in three. What the fuck? I already. God damn it. Okay, give me a sec. Let me run the ads then. I'm gonna go eat a can of tuna. Let me do this shit now. I'll run 3 minutes of ads and then we'll be right back. I'm gonna go eat a can of tuna. BRB. I went to take a leak. I got a can of tuna here. Feel light as a feather. It was definitely a weird. I don't know, man. Standing up after sitting down is wild when you're hungover because it's like I turned my head and it felt like my brain was catching up to what my eyes were seeing. Strange. Finally home. Welcome. Where were you? Studying at the coffee shop. Is that what it was? Sup, NFT. I second that. How's things? They're all right. I'm chilling. A little hungover, but we're good. Ugh. Did you drink again? Oh, you know me. You make it sound so bad. I barely drank. Casnack should give some advice to the children that have no portfolio ready for their unis right now. I don't know what kind of advice do they want, and how tight's their deadline? That'd be my first question. You said your shit's coming up in like was it a week or a month or what? It's coming up soon, right? What do you have and what do you need? Are there minimum requirements for the program? Like, do they have like a checklist of things you need? Because that's where I would start if I'm giving advice on like getting a portfolio ready for a specific course. No checklist. Okay, what do you have? List it out, big boy. I have a hope and a will. Well, that's a good start. Where's my freaking Korean boy in his outfit? That's not it. Where are you, Korean boy? Is it this? No. No. Yes, there's my Korean man. My collar looks weird. Okay. My collar still feels flat. Yeah. Haha, anyway, dog, gotta go. Dog called, gotta go. Bro lives with Brian from Family Guy. You got a talking dog. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you know what you gotta do. I don't. I feel like Dave, you and I have talked about this so many times. There's no way you don't know what you need. It's just about getting her done at this point. All right, Korean boy, you're taking up too much space. I gotta move you. Let's put you right there. Oh, I'm so exited for it. What? Oh, oh. After 3 to 4 weeks, I'll finally be able to commit myself to the portfolio. I'm so excited for it. Hell yeah, dude. This attaches to a button, huh? And the buttons are on these things. These buttons are way too close. We're gonna use these buttons as like guides. How many does he have? He has quite a few buttons. Okay. Don't leave it for the last week like other people. This is true. Don't do that. But if you do that, it's not hopeless, and those other people shouldn't feel too worried. Oh, I drew that in the wrong layer. Oops. But they should apply themselves from this day forth until the end of time. Yes, I'll let my friend who's in this exact situation know your advice. Not me, though. Haha. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Tell your friend. If I were him, I would identify the most critical aspect of his portfolio that he needs, that is appropriate to do in the time he has left, and I would focus on that. Alternatively, if he thinks he can do several less critical items in that same time frame, if I were him, I would weigh the odds on which one he thinks would be more useful towards his portfolio, and then I would focus all of my energy into those. Hypothetically, of course. At Nightbot, will Snack take a peeky poo at my badly executed homework? You do not want to hear what I have got to say about this. Oh, bummer. Well, there's your answer, I guess. I can take a look. Give me a second here. This is from a town. Just gotta drink some more water before I start doing revisions. Revisions, for whatever reason, they make my freaking head hurt. Ugh. All right. Okay. What do we got? Let's take a look at the homework. Copy image. Let's get rid of this for a sec. Let's get rid of this for a sec. I'm gonna move you down here. I'm gonna work off. I don't know. We'll work off this layer, I guess. I don't even know what's going on this layer. Merge this with the layer below. Yes, apply transformation. Merge with layer below. What? Merge selected layers. Okay. Okay, you got bullet 1, bullet 2. I'm pretty sure I said three observations. There's nothing here. Unless these are 2. Head appears compressed from side view. what do you mean by that, Anthony? Can you expand on these bullets for me? What do you mean when you say the head looks compressed from side view? I couldn't find more. Sorry, that's fine. I just want I want to know. I want to flesh out your mentality because your bullets are going to be unique to you, right? And so I just want to understand what exactly it is you think is compressed about like a profile view, right? If I'm doing a profile view, I don't actually think it's compressed. I think it's longer, right? Like if you look at a head from the front, it's going to be about this yay wide. But if you look at it from the profile, it's probably going to be a little bit more like this, a little bit longer, because you've got the width of the skull also. It looks more like an oval shape than a perfect circle. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. Let me look at the skull in the box. You might be right. So this is sort of a profile view we got going on here. Yeah, you're right. It does look a little bit more oval shaped. And then the front, well, actually, let me put the skull in there. I think it's gonna help. It's gonna help us use a reference better if we've got a skull in there. So it's definitely wider, right? There's very clear size differences from the front and profile view. Now, a bullet, okay, I'll give you an example of what I think a bullet could be here. A bullet here could be from the profile, okay, or this is just how I would take a look at this. So from the profile, I notice the eye is a triangle shape, right? From the front, it's not, right? So that's a bullet. That's a simple eye is triangular in profile view. Eye is triangular in profile. Now I have a shorthand and a simplified way to do an eye from profile. Boom, that easy. Now I've got something I can do in the future. If I draw a head from the side, I know if I'm doing an eye, this is a very weird head. Right? The eye is a triangle. I know that now. I know I could just bang at a triangle, boom, I've got an eye. So that's a little bullet. Another one is, well, let's see. Nose is a triangle also, right? That's one. This is what I mean by just trying to identify little simplified things. Socket, triangle. So the eye is basically a triangle inside of a triangle. If we're looking at the profile. So we got our 3 bullets right there. You could say the temple lines up with the corner of the eye here. That's another observation I'm making. I never did bullets before, so I might have misunderstood the point. The point is just to make observations and to write them down. That's what the point is, right? It's not just to say things that you already know. It's to try and identify things that you don't know or things that can help you in ways that if you're ever lost on something, you can think back. Like, let's say I'm looking at something and I'm like, okay, why does this feel off? Let's think about it for a second. My eye should be lining up with this. Is it? No, it's not. What happens if I try that? You know, that's sort of what I mean by bullets. Sorry, I'm getting lightheaded. Give me a second here. All right. Another thing is the mouth has like a round protrusion, right? It's like a little half oval as it sticks out from the profile view. Chin is a smaller version of that, right? So these are all little things, observations or whatever. Ooh. I'm trying to think of what other observations I can make. And I'm also trying to catch my brain real quick as it pounds. Ugh. So NFT, what was another bullet you had here? You've got it felt like sculpting, carving a head from a cube. Now, if you okay, my question to you, I guess, OMS Prime, Sub Snack, Sub Saltia, NFT. What up, OMS? How you doing? Did you always have OMS capitalized, or was it like lowercase last time I saw you? I feel like I'm having like a schizo moment. For whatever reason, I assumed it was lowercase last time. Maybe I'm tripping though. And we're doing a little revision of NFT's homework right now. So, NFT, I'm curious. When you say it felt like sculpting, carving a head from a cube, what do you think? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And how can okay, I guess I should add more context to the bullets. The bullets should be things that you can reference and use as indicators of correcting mistakes in the future, right? So they're objective observations in the thing that you're looking at. These are sort of this is more like a feeling that's documented. This is like a journal entry almost. Like you'd be like, I felt this way when I did this thing. So you're observing yourself more than anything. I don't know that this is an observation relative to the actual drawing. So I think it'd be more pertinent if you had the reference in your drawing, right? Or at least submitted your reference so that I knew what you were sort of looking at, or you knew what you were looking at. And if you're looking at this, that's fine. I'm struggling to see the application of these bullets like in another way. It was just a feeling. That's fair. I get you didn't really know where to land with it. Nah, you're completely fine. It was in fact lowercase. Oh good. Oh good. My brain's not malfunctioning too much today. So NFT, I'm gonna say go back and keep working on this and try to apply. Let me read the other bullets to see if there's some value here. Eyes are like carved holes, and the nose is a very simple shaped triangle. This is a good one. This is a good bullet. This is the shit I'm talking about. This is good. Correct. Right? Knowing how the skin wraps around the skull helps. This is true, but what do you mean by that? You need more there, I think. You need to be a little bit clearer. Like the skin and like maybe like let's say the skin around the eyes is thinner, therefore wrinkles are more likely to appear in that area. When detailing, apply wrinkles appropriately to these regions, right? Something like that. Corners of the mouth tend to have deeper value on or like the Cupid's bow has like a deeper value on the bottom of the lip, or shadow under the lip has little like I don't know, half hourglass shape, something like that. You know, these are the things I'm looking for. I don't know, dude. Or well, I don't either. I can't tell you much beyond that. I would say this is incomplete homework NFT. I would say go back, do bullets, do them a little less feely like vibes, and a little bit more objective observation is what I want. Right. Whips NFT. I don't think that's how you spell whip if you're talking about like unless you mean like work in progress NFT, in which case I agree. So yeah, back to the drawing board NFT. Get to work. You got till next week anyways, so you got lots of time on this. Don't rush the assignment. Whatever, mouse boy. Okay. Oh, well, you're technically if you created my PNG tuber, which means you're my parent. Isn't that how that works in this world, Boba? You're my PNG parent. Thanks, Daddy. The fuck? Oh, that's not the layer I wanted. This is. Do I like this more? What's the difference between these two? Cleaner chair. I really did not get a lot done yesterday, huh? It was late and I was kind of rushing it. I just wanted to have something before sleep. I'll take it slow. Very good. Guys, I'm gonna be real. I may wrap up at the 2 hour mark. My head is pounding right now, and I'm a little bit nauseous. I'm trying to play it cool, but it may be an early stream today. I apologize. My head hurty. I think I'm dumb. I bought the case and brushes, but they aren't for Clip Studio. I thought I could export them to Procreate. Oh, they're for Clip Studio. I thought I could export them to Procreate. Ah, shit, dude. Yeah, I use Clip. I don't think they carry over to Procreate. I'm sorry, dude. See if you can refund it. Be like, hey, sorry, I thought I could download this in Procreate. My bad. Oops. Take care of yourself, mate. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather you get some rest. There's always tomorrow. Oh, there will be tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow for sure. You don't need to apologize. It does feel a little silly when I do it to myself, you know? Like, I think if I was showing up hungover to work, I would have no excuse. And I feel like it should probably apply to streaming also, where it's like if I'm gonna be drinking, I gotta be a little bit more responsible if I know that I'm gonna be streaming. Let's see, I'm just gonna take the liquefy tool and see if I can do something neat. Hold up. Okay, sorry, I thought my vent was on. This isn't your job, though. I mean, it kind of is. There's people that subscribe, they pay money, you know. I have a little bit of accountability to them. Plus, I think just having the mentality of being accountable for your actions and the community you're a part of and building, I think is a healthy mindset. Obviously, if it became like to the point where it's like I'm going to torment myself, I'm going to work 60 hours a week on streaming and at the cost of all other health like side effects and blah blah, blah. That's like okay, well, maybe there's an argument against that. But I think having a light, healthy relationship with sort of stream accountability is important. I know. How dare you have beers on a Friday night? Well, it's Saturday technically. Wait, are we Saturday or Sunday today? Yeah, we're Sunday. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm not that fucked up. If we're drawing a face, just a face, no head or head outline, what approach to make sure the distance between the eyebrows and eyes are good? If we're not drawing the perspective box, I hope you get my question. Yeah, so if we're just drawing a head but we don't use any reference points, yeah, so what I would do normally is what depends on the angle of the head, right? So if you're doing a front on head, the space between the eyes is typically the width of one eye. So if I draw one eye here, right? The space between this eye and this eye is probably going to be about the width of that eye. So the way you can do that is you could just take the measurement of this eye here from the corners, right? Do that. Take that. Carry it over one, right? So now it's here. So now I know, boom, I start the next eye roughly here. Roughly. And there's room to move these around, right? And this other eye is going to be the same width as this eye. So that's how I would do it, right? So that's for front-on faces. Now let's say, well, how do you do this if you're doing a three-quarter face? Sorry, you also mentioned the eyebrows. The eyebrows would be just a little bit in front of the corner of the eye here. So if the corner of the eye is like roughly here, the eyebrow is just going to stick out a little bit. And it's gonna be the same thing on the other side, right? So it's gonna come to like here-ish. Now this is a very rough eyebrow, but I'm just trying to illustrate. Whoa, we're really off. We're really wobbly here. This is why you flip. Does that answer your question for the front on face? I'm recognizing my face is a little bit 3/4 here, but the idea is still more or less the same. Now, if you're doing a 3/4 face, the same rule is going to apply, but you're thinking of like the line here between the two eyes relative to the perspective you're looking at. And so like let's say there's a center line here. Both of these sides here, from this corner to this, and then again to this, where they line up with the corner of the eyes, these are basically going to be evenly distanced to each other, right? So this line here is going to be the same width as this line here. Now, if you're doing that from the side, if you're doing, let's say, a 3/4 face, you're going to shrink one side, and it's going to be the far side. So whatever side is turning away from the camera, so if the camera is where you're looking from, it's where your eye is observing from, right? You're standing over here looking in this direction, so this is going to be the side that is going to shrink. So you could do the same thing. You could just basically, this side is going to be a little smaller than this side. And then you carry that down, and boom, you got your eyes. Now, this would also mean that this eye would be a little bit bigger, so I think I made that smaller. So all the features that are closer are going to be a little bit bigger. And then same deal with the eyebrows. They're just going to stick out a little bit more, right? Same with this one. It's going to stick out a little bit more. Actually, the space between, that's another thing. As you rotate objects in space, so you see how there's a distance here? When it's front on, there's a space between the two. This space is going to get smaller as you turn away, as you close that gap. It's still going to stick out a little bit. It's not going to be as much as it would have been otherwise, and it's not going to be as much as it is on this side. Now this is not the most appealing face, but it's just a quick illustration of how I would do that. So hopefully that answers your question and it gives you a little bit of a reference that you can look at when you're trying to plan out the space on things. This I think would come up a little bit more. it wouldn't go with that. It feels weird. Do you see yourself coloring this? Maybe. TBD. Stay tuned and find out. Probably not, but stay tuned and find out. I liked your previous coloring work, so I was just curious. I mean, maybe we'll see. I'd like to, but I just gotta get through the line work stage, which I'm really not happy with right now. But I'm just powering through, chugging along, hoping it becomes nice at a certain point. 'No. I can get rid of this head. It's kind of creepy. 4.5 and it's at 7.5. You can work with that. Very nice. I don't like that. That's not straight enough for me. I could freehand that a little better, I think. My gay level and straight level is decently aligned. Wow. Yin and yang, brother. Snack hates straights? Nah. All right, guys. I am actually gonna end stream a little bit earlier. My head's freaking pounding me, dude. I'm gonna call it now. We'll just raid out to I don't know. We'll raid out to Zale, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. And I will be much healthier, probably much sleepier because it'll be after work. But see you guys tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Oh, I'm gonna go lay down. Bye bye.